I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. Hot wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Beat my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Lots to get to, lots to do. So we're going to get right at it. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerlam Hayfeed and Ranch Services.
67 degrees in Victoria, Texas, under mostly cloudy skies, heading to a high today of 92. Are we good?
We're good. Yep.
We have sound.
I'm pretty sure we have sound.
There's Lisa Pooh.
There's Lisa Poole, who's in the Andy Rockovich
First
Jr.
one
Samples.
in.
Mark Kurtz on the podium this morning. Good morning to you three gentlemen for getting up early and
Absolutely.
beating everybody else to the punch. Randy Langston. Good morning, Marina.
Good dudes.
Scott Tomko, Marvin Mickish, Greg Garcia, Mark Zapata, Linda Christ, Lisa Poole, Bobby
Hi,
Leister,
Marina.
Tammy Keeling, Monty Howard. The rest of you are joining. We'll get you all. But, boy, there's lots to talk about. Let's start.
Ash and I were just talking about you favorably.
Of course.
What do you want to get to?
Chuck Young, city looking for a new police chief here.
Yeah,
shortly.
interesting. There's several. I reached out to former chief Robert Arredondo, and who's a dear friend more than a former chief. And Robert said that, hey, the city's got great candidates in house. Elaine Moya, Officer Fetters, guys that are in the system. Probably will be considered. We have no inside
I don't know
track.
if we can afford to hire somebody from outside the city. I don't think we can pay him enough.
Are we able to do a buyout? Is it kind of like, are we able to pay Chuck kind of like Jimbo Fisher, like $75 million?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Does he get an extra $75 million? No, I've been told that Chuck wants to stay in the community and plans to do so. So good for him. I don't know. I know that he was a great number 2 for Chief Arredondo.
Everybody seemed to be on board with the hiring.
Yes. Good morning, Mom. Yeah, I think that Robert was kind of the good cop, no pun intended, and that Chuck was allowed to be the bad cop. That Robert was the guy with the vision. Chuck was the man with the implementation. But it's the quote I got is, unless you're wired just right to deal with city council and a city manager and the public, and nobody's ever happy unless you're wired for that it can be a very, very lonely seat.
I don't know. 3 chiefs in the last few years. That's, yeah.
Well, I don't know. So
something.
Am I right? So you had Chuck and then Arredondo before that, JJ Craig. Well, so JJ left. Good morning, David Ballard. JJ left of his own accord, right, to go to Sugar Land or Missouri City, wherever he went. Nobody fired him, or he didn't leave, I don't believe, over city management. I don't think he left disgruntled. I think he left for an opportunity. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't know, but
think
I'm just saying.
I think that he's decided.
And there's been a lot of turnover in the department, and I don't, is paid.
Well, we don't pay him enough. That's a lot of it. And at the end of the day, and I got this from a city council member, people in public service, yes, they expect to be paid, but all things being equal, people in public service work for the man, not for the money. And
tell that to the teachers in Alberta who voted to go on strike.
Right? Teachers in Chicago loving on
anything.
Asada
Shakur.
Yeah. Or Joanne Brown, as she was. Joanne Bryan, is who she was. convicted murderer. But, I mean,
I don't know, but I mean, if you struggle to
the
recruit,
king is dead. Long live the king. We'll get another chief.
well, but
The
when you
law's still the
struggle to
law.
recruit police officers, it's probably not a good look that you're on your third chief in the last
True
handful of
story.
years.
True story. And in fairness, and in full support of city manager Jesus Garza, the buck stops with Jesus. I mean, at that point, at some point, and he's not afraid of that. The city manager is not afraid of that. And so, by the way, the fact that I didn't get his name right means he probably needs to spend a little more time on this show. Am I wrong?
No.
You need to be in here
Not
so
wrong.
we can discuss what's going on with our community because nobody else is doing it.
No.
I mean, you see a blurb on Crossroads today. I don't think I follow it, and I don't follow what's left of the local newspaper. What a sad, sad waste of a brand that is. I mean, honestly, it's just one of the best brands ever.
But you know what? I don't know that
Advocate.
anything could have saved.
Well, the printed page, maybe
Yeah.
not. But
That's
I
what I'm
know
saying.
that shutting down the printing press and shipping everything to Corpus and going to a 2 or 3, I don't know where they put out 2 papers a week.
Well, and I mean that's cost savings. But my understanding
Cost
is
savings
when they
is
made
not the news.
when they
Cost
made the
savings would be
decision-
us not coming here but 3 days a week.
when they made the decision to go to Corpus, they took an earlier deadline and purposefully didn't allow them to have Friday night football scores in it.
No kidding. How about real quick from Micah Patton, school board president? You think you have challenges. How about the city of Des Moines, Iowa, finding out that their superintendent was an illegal? His last name is Roberts. The gentleman happens to be black. We did not know this. We just Googled him up. Iowa superintendent arrested by ICE, loses state license and is placed on unpaid administrative leave. Now, when he signed up to be their super, he provided a driver's license and a social security card as required by law. Some 2 forms of identification. The man is only 54 years old. Where did he come from?
Guyana.
There you go. He was arrested and he had a final order of removal and no work authorization.
He also has, according to The Guardian,
Wow.
existing weapon possession charges from February of 2020.
And he entered the U.S. in 1999 on a student visa and was given a final order of removal in May of 24. So actually, before Donald Trump became president, don't blame the president.
Good point, because you know darn well
Trump's after teachers.
Yeah. This is a guy who was told to leave by an immigration judge during the Biden administration.
Is it? I tell you what, following that on down, talking about foreigners and school and all that. Do any of you have, and it's just we've become so callous. Micah Patton, love your comment here. Yesterday, I got a notice from Victoria West High School that, according to state law, the school district has to inform you if your student, your child, has been taught for more than 30 days by a teacher that's not certified. And that makes sense. I mean, you ought to know that the guy that's teaching him history isn't a certified
Even though apparently
teacher.
they have 3 years to get certified. So
Yeah,
why wouldn't you send that?
emergency certification?
So what do you
as
have to
well.
send that notice out if he's not in 3
State
years?
law.
If
It's
he's
state law.
I know, but why? That's my point. In 3 years, if he's not certified, you move on.
Now you're wanting state law to make sense. I mean, but at the end of the day, they sent me the notice. What I found interesting, the gentleman's name, they just said Mr. Pettis, Mr. Perez. That's all they said. I just translated it for both of you. And welcome all of our guests and friends on Magic 95.9. I know to say Pettis because I lived in the Valley forever, but I also knew a guy down there from Kentucky named Joe Perez. He was as hillbilly redneck as you could be, named Perez. So all that said, I got the letter electronically and I read the first page. It was just like a paragraph. And I thought, that's weird. Why did they send me a second page. It would have all fit on this page. Why did I get two pages? You may wonder. So I scrolled down.
I asked myself.
So I asked myself, and I scrolled down to the second page.
What am I doing here?
This is not my beautiful wife. This is not my lovely home. And I got to the second letter, which was all in Spanish. And I thought to myself, if I'm not even taking the time to learn to read English, do I care? Really? If the teacher named Perez
could have been named Smith, it wouldn't have made any difference.
Is he certified? Who cares? I don't understand why our school district acquiesces. Why not send it out? I want a third letter in Arabic. I want a fourth letter in Chinese.
I want a fifth letter in Canadian English, and all the U's put back in the words that are misspelled by you lazy Americans.
Give us a call if you have a problem, eh? Do you not see how senseless that is?
Especially when we don't have two official languages.
We need an official language in this country. Yeah. It needs to be English.
You know what's interesting with the whole Des Moines thing? Remember we had that issue where we didn't vet somebody we were going to hire?
Yes. In fact,
at VISD and found out that the guy had a whole bunch of financial misdealings at his previous jobs. And then I think we ended up paying him. Didn't we pay him out some money too?
Interesting.
Because we hired him. I don't know.
Andy Rockledge adds a little trivia. An ex-Obama aide is on the school board that hired the illegal. But I do believe that they didn't know. Well, again, I do believe they didn't know that he was illegal. I mean, he has, but not a green card. He had a social security number and a driver's license, and his name is Roberts. I mean, why would you think
that's not enough for your I-9.
There you
gotta, I mean, when we just went through this, your I-9, you got to prove that
we don't. We're from Texas.
That you can work in the United States legally.
You're a foreigner.
Who didn't do the job? They just assumed because he's a doctor and
foreigner. You're a foreigner.
No, I'm a U.S. citizen.
There's an asterisk by that.
Only when I hit 61 home runs.
Right. That's right.
But seriously, did nobody check this guy's anything? And in Des Moines, did they just assume because he's a doctor and he'd been a super somewhere else? I mean, all along he's been hired illegally, and they originally placed him on paid leave
pending investigation, right? Yeah. And I'm not faulting the Des Moines School Board.
A little bit.
Oh, come on. I mean, do you think anybody did a really deep dive to make sure that Quentin Shepard from Iowa, which, by the way, Shepard may leave and go to Iowa. He could be the guy in Des Moines. That'd be a thrill for a farm boy like Quentin. By the way, their school board, all white, no diversity, no equity, no inclusion. Was there? There was one lady on the end.
Females.
Yeah. Cody Bauman, good morning, sir.
But, yeah, I don't know. It just, you would think somewhere along the way that would have been. But I can understand why he was packing heat back in the day because he was from Guyana.
Yeah, packing heat from Guyana.
Said Stewart, first thing I do is assume that a doctor is a U.S. citizen. I can understand that and why they didn't do what they did, but.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like, for example, if we were there doing our show in Des Moines, hey, B Small, I don't believe that we would be lashing out going, it's a travesty. We need to replace the whole school board. I wouldn't. I'd be like, wow, that's crazy.
No, but I'd be wondering how he fell through the cracks.
Yeah. True story.
Kind of like the simple Google search that, nobody did at VISD when they hired that guy. What was he to be the super?
He was to be assistant super. At any rate, it's so great that nobody can remember that guy's name. Nobody. Maybe Tammy. Nobody else can remember that guy's name.
But I don't know. It's interesting because it's, it's making national news.
Yeah.
Government going to shut down today? What are the odds? 50-50?
15 hours and change, 15 hours, almost 16 hours
by
from
midnight
now,
tonight.
The government expected
Government's
to
shut
down.
Federal funding bill. And it's funny, as I pointed out last week, when Joe Biden was in charge, The Democrats blame the Republicans because they wouldn't spend enough money.
And it never shut down. Remember, the Republicans always got weak-kneed and caved in. We stood here and said, let it close. No essential services shut down. The Democrats come out and they just lie. You're going to not get your health benefits. The hospitals are going to close. It's all an honest lie.
CNN,
it's a lie.
Congress has hours to avert a government shutdown.
Dun, dun, dun. It's all a lie. Military still gets paid. Medicare still operates. The IRS ain't going nowhere.
The 15% of the government that does shut down, they get back pay when they get back to work.
And we don't need them anyway.
Didn't Obama shut down the government for like 2.5 weeks to try to put pressure on Republicans to pass Obamacare? I think he did.
But what's funny is the Dems have come in and want they're barreling toward a government shutdown.
Thank you, CNN.
But nobody wants to talk. Remember that Y2K? Oh, party like it's 1999 because when the clock rolls over, it's over. Doomsday. Planes are going to crash. Didn't happen. Here's the deal. If the government shuts down, the Dems are now blaming that on the Republicans again. The Dems lost their elections. The Republicans are saying, no, we're not going to give you $1.5 trillion. The Democrats are saying, by the way, they're only going to give them a 4-week extension.
Isn't like a third of that too to fund healthcare for illegals?
For illegals, they want to give illegal aliens healthcare benefits again. They're like, you can't have them here and not take care of them. You're right. So let's send them home. Let them go home. Wrap them up in their Honduran flag and put them on the plane. We're trying to rush through some news because at 7:30, we're thrilled to be joined by Astros Hall of Famer Terry Poole just for a segment, Rena, just a segment to talk playoff baseball and Astros future.
Yeah, I'm trying to find real quick what actual agencies shut down in a government shutdown. You know
Great
what?
question, Be Small.
Air traffic controllers? Nope.
No, they're fine. Planes
TSA? Nope. Considered essential workers, they have to stay on the job.
If TSA is essential, then your trash is still going to get picked up because we don't need the TSA.
Yeah.
Scroll down. We got some more love down at the bottom.
Tammy Keeling says, can we rely on state agencies to provide licenses for superintendents? From what
you should be able to, right?
And from what I gathered, the Iowa license that did that licensing, apparently they didn't do enough of the background check on this guy because when they did find out the other day, then they revoked his license to be a superintendent, and now he's not eligible to work in the state of Iowa, which is why Des Moines pulled or moved his leave from paid to unpaid.
Can we agree, though, that he's a liar? He knew he had been told that he was out of here.
Absolutely, he's a liar.
Yeah, he knew that he was.
Yeah.
Adam Gardner says they use veterans as a tool. They do, and I'll give you one that I thought was good this morning. Ash and I solved a problem like this. Like this, we solved a problem. People are calling for major shoe manufacturers to begin making one shoe for amputees, for veterans, although most veterans have a prosthetic that requires 2 shoes. But at any rate, you can see the need for one shoe. Problem solved. The VA should buy and stock pairs of shoes. They could do a special contract with Nike, Adidas, Reebok, whoever, On Cloud, Cole Haan, whoever.
Skechers.
Guess what?
The ones you just slide in and don't have to tie.
War and amputation is non-discriminatory. For every size 12 that needs a right shoe, somewhere there's a size 12 that needs a left shoe. The VA can solve that problem.
And why? And the thing is, the governments are going to put pressure on the shoe manufacturers. If they saw the demand for this, they'd already be meeting it.
Let me ask, as an insurance agent, isn't it true that as people lose medical benefits, the rest of the insured pay higher premiums? What I can say about that is the Affordable Care Act has been anything but. They touted premiums of $275 and all this, and it was going to be for everybody. Now the average Affordable Care Act premium, I think, is like $850 a month, which is more than Blue Cross Blue Shield. So I haven't figured out. No, I don't think my health insurance doesn't go up if illegal aliens get off the American tit. No, it does not go up based on that.
It's probably gone up because anyway.
Well, because Blue Cross isn't providing that care. The government is.
Passport agencies will remain open. Could take longer to process applications because some employees get furloughed. Postal Service keeps going. Benefits and safety net programs. This is off NPR, by the way. Social Security, the VA,
I thought they
and
went
other
out of business. I thought Trump ruined them.
Yeah, they should have. Social Security and the VA, some delays in some services such as processing applications.
Did you know?
They do say though that some people who rely on SNAP and WIC could feel it because at some point, if the shutdown is prolonged enough, the funding that they've got may eventually run out. So they don't lose funding immediately at 12:01 tomorrow, and they have enough funding.
Hey,
it just may not be replenished down the road in time.
If your SNAP runs out, quit having kids and get a job. Did you know that when the NPR got their cut, their devastating cut from President Trump, it was 10% of their budget? 10%. NPR never told you that.
The only salaries the federal government will continue to pay during a shutdown.
Congress, I bet Congress.
And the president who gives his money back.
You've got to pay Congress. So
Congress is still getting paid during a shutdown where the 15% of the government that shuts down, they'll end up getting back pay at some point.
But of course, the Democratic congressmen will donate their full salaries to help those that are on SNAP.
Yeah. FEMA keeps working. The National Weather Service keeps providing forecasts. Then anything else is state specific.
And nothing else matters.
No, not really.
Who cares?
So there you go. Thank you, NPR, for clearing that up. Nothing of importance shuts down.
Right. Shut down the government. Who cares? Tell you what you can't shut down. You can't shut down Allen's Wrecker Service. 578-6300. Allen is your go-to tow-to. Andrew Alvarez says, I think the national parks close. Again,
it's October.
Cares?
Who's in the national parks?
Nobody cares. Dollar Floor Store for all your flooring needs. Laminate flooring, luxury vinyl, waterproof flooring, industrial flooring, hardwood flooring. You get it. Carpet pad. They've got it all. Dollar Floor Store. Top brands, Armstrong, everybody. They've got it. Go see them. Ash and I had an idea today, a money maker. White Trash Site Services, Gaza division. Think about all the demo and haul off they can do over there. And then BJ Nelson and Scott could go in and build some nice resorts.
Hamas, apparently, we'll get to that on the back end.
It'll be super, super duper. We're going to build Trump Tower, Palestine. Everybody's going to love it. White Trash Services. Get over there. 550-1826. Let White Trash help you. That's our new deal. Here, Reno, Vegas, Lake McQueeney, Gaza. Chesnick Furniture, Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get by and see why you just always do better at Chesnick. Bobby Leon and his family serving you and yours for over 100 years. Next year, 100 years of Atzenhofer dealerships. Tommy Taylor and his team, 3 Corvettes on the lot right now.
Yeah, and that High Country Suburban still there. It's really nice.
Go by and get one. So, Atzenhofer and Atzenhofer.com. Great leadership at that dealership through Tommy Taylor as dealership principal. Went Services and Went Electrical for all your generator needs. Let them help you. Get by and see Went today. So I hate indulging ignorance, but all premiums go up, including those who do not have a subsidy and premiums for employers. What I'm asking you is, if you're getting government subsidy to provide illegals health care, that is totally separate from my United, my Humana used to be, my Aetna, my Blue Cross, and has zero effect on me as an employer, zero effect on me as a consumer of health insurance.
And if you're kicking them off health care, then premiums shouldn't go up at all because they're no longer being
absolutely
covered.
And they're not being covered by the insurance companies anyway, so they don't need to raise premiums. That's totally separate issues. That's like saying if the price of tires goes up, the price of gasoline goes up. Linda Chris says Hegseth is addressing top military leaders as we speak. 800 generals. I hope that he says this. By December 31st, 25% of you need to pick an exit strategy. I want 25% of you guys gone.
Self-identify.
If you feel like you need to wear a skirt, if you have purple hair, if you refuse to shave, I need you to go ahead and put in your papers to retire. We're going to have a warrior's ethos in this country. We are going to have a united and unified military presence. We are going back to being the most battle-ready force in the history of mankind. And we're not going to do it woke DEI with purple nail polish on our men. So if you're in favor of that thing, if you feel we're being discriminatory, turn in your paper. Most of these guys make well over $200,000 a year, and they're just on the tit. It's time to cut a bunch of them loose. 800 generals? 43% are like 2-star or more. They got to go. They need to go. You don't need 800 of them. If you feel more secure because there's 800 generals, I'd rather have another 10,000 soldiers. So that's just my take. One admiral, it says right there, somebody just put a math. Daniel Bird says one admiral, one general per 1,600 soldiers and sailors. I mean, don't forget you've got colonels and majors and captains, and I don't think lieutenants. You don't need 600 generals. So there you have it.
Andrew Alvarez says, I wonder if the meeting has anything to do with the shutdown. I don't know. President Trump's going to speak at 9, so I'm assuming this meeting's going to be over by then.
Right.
And I'm sure he'll get to that and the shutdown.
Yeah, because Trump's there. Trump's with Hegseth at the deal. And I'm sure it's just going to be a really, I think he's basically, it's much ado about nothing. At the end of the day, I think he's going to say, hey, we're all on the same page. We all support you.
I think it's coffee and egg McMuffins and hey, how y'all doing? Come on.
I do too. That's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be a rah-rah meeting. Melissa Hanson says they just sent out letters that they increased physical standards during PT test.
Did those letters come in 2 different languages?
I'll be like, yeah, probably 3. Chinese for the insurgent spies. I really don't care if my general's a little bit overweight, if he's 60 years old and he's been sitting behind a desk for the last 30. It's kind of hard to ask that guy. It's not, everything is not Hamburger Hill with Clint Eastwood.
If the general's got to get into actual battle, we're in trouble.
That's a problem. Unless you're just drew a blank.
Patton?
No, back further, way further.
Washington?
Civil War.
Not that
Civil
far.
War. Anyway.
Lee?
No, it'll come. I was going to say Alexander Hamilton. No, that's not right. Anyway, it'll come to me. He was gallant. He was a gallant soldier. Very gallant. Andy Rogovich, now a military consultant, says the top brass should meet quarterly. The fact that they have never done this is absolutely ridiculous. How do you run a major organization without key figures meeting in person often? It's called Zoom. I'm worried about the idea that we're spending really probably tens of millions of dollars and you're bringing all these people to one place. Sounds like a scary moment for a drone strike.
Could be.
Yeah.
So President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu agree on a peace deal.
They do, but
they've given 72 hours to release all the hostages.
I think when Trump gives people a deadline, you have 72 hours. In the 73rd hour, I think Trump's going to say, okay, we assume they're all dead and they're going to eradicate Hamas. I'm just telling you. They better be ready by about Thursday morning to have all their ducks in a row, or you're going to see. I heard Netanyahu say yesterday, we could do this the easy way, or we can continue to do it the hard way.
Israel's agreed to a withdrawal to an agreed line, a suspension of all military operations in Gaza, the release of 250 prisoners serving life sentences, along with another 1,700 people from the Gaza they've detained since October 7th.
Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza, according to the agreement. Once again, the Israelis who were attacked, everybody forgets, when you go in and kill 1,200 Israelis, we lost 2,277 people, something like that, at the World Trade Centers. Whatever it was. The equivalency in the U.S. would be if somebody came in here and killed 40,000 Americans in one day. Oh, by the way, with machetes and close-range gunfire, and maybe raped a few along the way and lopped off some heads. 40,000 Americans is what the outrage level would be, relatively speaking. So when they kill all those people, and now Israel once again is saying, hey, look, let's find peace. We'll stop at this line. We promise not to annex you, but you've got to get rid of Hamas. The Hamas leadership, it's like saying you got to get rid of the Nazis, which is kind of what America did at the end of World War II.
And a new international body would be formed called the Board of Peace. Trump would be the chairman of it. Tony Blair, the former British prime minister, has already said he wants.
I'd like to serve on that.
It would be an apolitical Palestinian committee that would be managed by the board, and they would be the ones running the day-to-day with oversight. Imagine that. Absolutely. No more Hamas doing whatever the hell they want to do, keeping their people impoverished, living in squalor, and then blaming Israel for it all.
I get the feeling, maybe that's a truck outside. We've got a guest coming at some point. I know that
calling, not coming.
Right. What do you think? It's time. He'll call us in a minute.
Sure, haven't missed a text message.
Junior says there is air coverage like you've never seen, like no other coverage over those generals. It's beautiful. Yeah, man, Tyreek Hill, who was on my fantasy team, really takes a tumble last night.
Yeah, his knee went in ways it's not supposed to. Daniel Bird, devil's advocate here, Israel's done the same thing to others.
Okay. America's imperialistic. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I'll tell you what, I don't think that there were the leftist media, the Main Street media reporting that Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump bringing all these generals together. Hitler did that. Hitler did that and made all of his generals pledge loyalty to him. Yeah. I mean, get off the Hitler deal. The left has zero credibility with the Hitler deal.
No.
And then you call him a fascist, which is different than being a Nazi. And then it's like, how is a guy that's a fascist? He's not gathering up the means of production. He's putting money into communities. He's not centralizing power. He's decentralizing power and sending things back to the states. He's not adding government agencies. He's dismantling government agencies. How does it's kind of like, are you going to keep reading what's on the spreadsheet, or are you going to believe your lying eyes? Look at what's going on. The left is so scrambled in their head with Trump derangement syndrome, they can't get their head around the fact that all the guy's doing is straightening out this mess of our economy, of our military, and of our bloated federal government.
A mess that's been created by COVID spending, which Trump started. Let's be honest.
I heard audio
COVID
yesterday.
recovery packages and trillions of dollars in checks to us.
Well, I heard audio yesterday of Chuck Schumer. So it was in 1997, I think. Who was president in 97? Wasn't Clinton. So was it Bush? No. Was it Bush? Who took over like in 90? Somebody help me. 1997.
97? Yeah. Was it Clinton?
He got elected in
98.
88 and 92. The economy doesn't stink. The economy is, it's not. The economy's not bad. I bought milk the other day for under $3 a gallon. I mean, these things are coming around. So Clinton's president and Chuck Schumer, I think probably echoing the Clinton line, said we've got to do something. Thank you, guys. And Cody Obama comes in with the fact check.
Thank you, Bree Small.
Brian Small says Lincoln. Lincoln was president. He's still our guy. Republican, by the way. Leftists killed him. Actually, I'm more conservative. Anyway,
he's a centrist.
At the end of the day, Chuck Schumer said, we've got to do something to stop this influx of illegals. And we certainly can't be giving them American benefits. Chuck Schumer said that. Now Chuck Schumer says, well, we've got to take care of these people. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it really is.
Peter McNally, you're a day late, brother. We agree. We agree 100% that the behavior of some golf fans at the Ryder Cup was unacceptable. We also agree that you've got to keep decorum in certain sports just to get along. Now, is Greg Garcia saying we were wrong?
I don't know.
Maybe he's saying that we're wrong about the economy.
Never.
Well, I've been wrong. I love to fall on the sword of being wrong when somebody has a good argument. I've got no problem saying I was wrong. When you're wrong as much as I've been wrong, I mean, I'm wrong second only to McClovey Opeta's on the weather. If you're wrong, you got to say you're wrong. But I don't think the economy, look, the economy doesn't know that we had a transition in president just 9 months ago. It cycles. The economy cycles. And it was being propped up with a bunch of influx of
government money,
worthless dollars. And then when you start backing off of all that, there's challenges. It's going to take a while. In fact, I think Trump even said it's going to be painful. And, you know,
I mean, we doubled government money into the economy, went from like 3 trillion to 6 trillion because of COVID.
Yeah. Which was all contrived. It was all part of a major plot. No doubt about it.
And I've said it before. Our GDP was humming along where it was because government was propping it up. If you back that out, yeah, the economy is going to start to slow down because it'd been falsely propped up.
Yeah. Junior sleep.
I mean, it's simple.
Linda Chris comes in. The stock market is at a record high right now. I don't know why they're saying the economy is bad. It's so funny because in his first term, everybody said all Trump cares about is the economy, is the stock market. He wants to get the stock market price up. Then in the second term, they said all he cares about is his rich friends.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Biden was touting the high record stock market indices.
Yeah. Well, Junior, look, you have to realize that we have listeners that are totally void of any workspace responsibility. People that don't work, that don't make a payroll, don't cover anybody else's expenses. You have people that sit around idealistically, and it's great. I mean, my dad was retired, and for years he could pontificate about things about the economy, and I was like, Dad, you know, come on. But he was retired. And if you're not out there knee deep, slugging it out with Charlie, if you're not doing that, it's very difficult to comprehend what is going on. It's just absurd. Brian Small says, I miss Biden.
My Mexican style chocolate covered almonds from HEB just went up $2 a pound. It's got to be tariffs. You know, it's interesting.
Tariffs are not a problem. Everybody keeps talking about that. That's over.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, John Deere, if John Deere's complaining about tariffs because they are also the recipient of large government subsidies in the form of foreign aid packages that require countries to then buy John Deere in order to get the money that we're giving them in the name of foreign aid for farming and agriculture.
That's what happens.
Give you the money, but you got to buy John Deere.
So if John Deere has to pay a tariff to get their parts from China, I don't care. I don't care. And I don't care what the people in Mozambique pay for tractors either.
I mean,
you don't like it? Make your tractor here. America first. Come here, make your tractor, sell it to American farmers. Yeah. Like Kubota does. Yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot they're Japanese. But they make them here. Where's your guy?
I don't know.
What is he? Is he on strike?
Might have slept in.
Thought maybe the Hall of Famers went on strike.
They might have. The government's going to shut down, so maybe that's what it is. Should we take another break?
Sure. Let's take that second
This
break.
is the fastest moving hour.
This is a great program. I want to tell you, folks, Paravita Wellness. Yes, sir. Peter McNally, you're one of the sharpest people I know. Misguided, but very sharp. Paravita Wellness, consistent. You're consistent, sir. And the Vita Cafe. Vita Cafe, light, fresh, exciting. Get into the Vita Cafe, upbeat, and I don't mean this in a negative way. It's very un-Victoria. You'll go like, wow, this is cool. I could see this in Houston near the Galleria. It's trendy. It's cool. It's not expensive. And the food is not only great, it's great for you. Get by Paravita Wellness and pick up all your healthy meals. The office is at 205. There's a couple of spaces left up here. Not many. Get a hold of JP Hall. You can check him out right here on Facebook. Just find John Paul. I just had to do a little scratch there. We're off the air. Well, it's just a little manipulation. Get in there. Get in here and check out this space. Jackie Parsons says farms sell grain per bushel. It's the same as it was 40 years ago, and it costs 4 times as much to farm. Supply and demand. Am I right? I don't know.
Stop selling grain.
That'll show them. No more bread. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Get into Palace Bingo.
We don't know when we'll be there in October yet, but we will be.
We will be. There you go.
We always are. USA Concrete Coatings. We talked about them yet?
578 Home. Charlie Garcia and his team will come out, give you a synopsis of your situation. They may need to level your home if it's on pier and beam, or if it's on a slab. They may need to raise, float, and seal the cracks in your driveway. Then they can put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't
crack, stick, peel, or fade.
And then Veracruz Restaurant. It's a terrific Tuesday. It's a pre-Caldo Wednesday, Tuesday. Get in there today for a full menu. No Caldo. Full menu.
Caldo's tomorrow.
Get in there today.
Yeah. New York strip sale going on at the chopping block. $12.99 a pound for Angus choice grade New York strips. They've got ribeyes for $16.99 a pound. And because of you going in and swiping up all the boudin, they are making the barbacoa boudin as fast as they can to keep it in the meat case, because it's flying off. It's flying out of there. They made 90 pounds. They had 90 pounds of it yesterday.
It's gone.
Gone.
Mostly because we promote it. Go up a little bit, and Linda gave B Small some advice. What did B Small what was he missing?
I don't know. The Hall of Fame is shut down.
The Hall of Fame shut down.
I don't know. Maybe.
Too funny. I'll just call him.
And he misses Biden.
I'm just going to call him and go, what are you doing? I mean, not everybody just has that cell number, right?
Can't do that.
I stole it from you.
I don't have it.
Oh, I got it.
I think I do.
Oh, I got it. I don't need any help.
I don't know what's happened. Why we're not getting our call from our
T Pool. I'm going to ask him, what are you doing?
Figure that one out.
It's stuck in the
well, you're doing that.
It's stuck in the buffet.
Could the NFL have swung and missed any more twice yesterday or this weekend? The announcement of Bad Bunny as our halftime, Super Bowl halftime. And I get it. He's popular with all the rich suburbanite kids whose parents are the heads of the corporations that float the NFL. Nobody wants
John
to
Anderson, we've been blessed. Yeah, we're over 10,000 listeners.
I mean, so I get it. Kind of.
TP?
You have finished recording. You may hang up.
Hello? We got a message.
Uh-oh.
No, got a message.
Try and call him back.
Maybe he'll call us back. He knows we want him, right?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Call him back.
You think?
Because he was calling you, right?
No, it was me calling him.
Oh, you called him.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You mean to call Bill Brown instead?
But,
you want me to call Charles Barkley?
And then yesterday, Monday Night Football.
Don't have his number.
2 games.
Boring. 2 0-3 teams, right?
The Jets and the Dolphins. I mean, seriously, when the NFL made their schedule and released it, who thought that was going to be a good game on a Sunday, let alone on a Monday night?
And who made those uniforms for Miami? They were
terrible.
Black with the turquoise.
And then orange names. They were horrible. Horrible uniforms.
Even as silly as they are, The Miami Dolphins uniform is iconic.
Yeah.
I love the dolphin with the helmet on the hat.
And then the helmet used to have the dolphin with the helmet on it. It was like a perpetual.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
It was like looking down a hall of mirrors. Yeah. And I also like the colors are very Miami, orange, very coastal. Last night, I don't know what the NFL's doing. Ash says
I tried to watch a little bit of that game, both games, and I just couldn't do it.
I can't tell you anything about Bad Bunny except
Cincinnati.
that he's from Puerto Rico and said that
he hates America.
He hates America. He's openly says there's no reason.
But he's an American. But he hates America.
Go to mainland America again. There's no reason for me to ever go there. And very interesting. Andy Rogovich says soybean production in the USA in 21, 4.4 billion pounds. In 22, 4.5 billion pounds. 4.5, 4.6, 4.8
for this year.
Tammy had just said that soybean business in America was done. The exact quote was
soybean market gone. And well, maybe they flooded the market with soybeans, and that's why the prices are down.
Yeah. Be small. We'd love for you to call in. 894-4020. The area code's 361.
Jonathan Williams says Metallica would have made more sense being a San Francisco band.
True story. J-Dub, Jonathan Williams knows what he's doing. Yep. Andy Rogovich with another fact check. John Deere has not raised prices in 25. They started laying people off in 24.
As
we said, the economy was propped up. The truth often hurts the hypocritical left. I don't know who Bad Bunny is. That's exactly right. I didn't even know who Bad Bunny was until your previous doctor, if I knew him since his grandson. Listen to him. Well, I did listen to Mike Slater this morning, and he said about his own upbringing. He said, it's upsetting to me that there were no adults in my life, in my youth, who cautioned me about what I listened to. They ran an ad this morning where the dad is talking to his junior high aged son. And he said, hey, look, there's a box over there that gives access to all the porn in the world, bad stuff that you shouldn't see of all types. I'm just going to count on you not to look there. And there's, a Russian guy over there that wants to get your social security number, and he's going to ask you questions. And there's a pedophile over there that wants you to meet him at the park, but just ignore all that. And he said, that's essentially what we give our kids. So they have. Tammy Keeling now revises her misstatement and says Chinese stopped buying soybeans because of the tariff war. That'll show us. Does anybody care if China has soybeans? We're still doing 4.5, 4.6, 4.8.
But there is a problem with that.
Now there's a glut of soybeans.
If they're buying if they're buying half the soybeans,
who cares? Really, who cares?
Good Bunny was booked, and Blue Bunny ice cream could not meet up with production demand, so they weren't hired for the halftime show.
There you have it.
That would be a more entertaining halftime show.
Jonathan Williams,
everybody gets free ice
Bugs
cream.
Bunny. I'd rather watch Bugs Bunny too. The fact is,
I did too until Space Jam. Bugs Bunny lost me.
Yeah, well, that's woke. You told me that the problem is not, because I said the lazy, out of work, inner city idiot is laying around, and that's who the NFL is pandering to. And you corrected me because you're more in tune with today's youth, honestly, through the universities, that today's college kids are listening to that, and they're the business leaders of tomorrow. These people don't pay the bills, but they will one day, and the NFL is trying to keep them engaged. It's the most popular sport on the planet.
And here's the thing. The NFL knows what they're doing. If everybody likes the halftime act, they get no reaction out of anybody.
Right.
If everybody approves of them. But now you got half the country that says they're not going to watch, but they're talking about it, including us, who really, I don't know. Right. I know who Bad Bunny is. I don't listen. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't name you a Bad Bunny song. I couldn't identify a Bad Bunny song from the thousands of other rappers that sound exactly the same as
Apparently
Bad Bunny.
Some of it's in Spanish.
But half of the half that say they're not going to tune in will secretly tune in to the halftime show, and then they'll talk about it on Monday about what a crappy halftime show it was, or he'll do an about face and actually do something that is entertaining and people like, and they'll go, geez, that wasn't so bad after all.
Right. If he's
Because that's
smart,
what
he'll do
happens with the
latter.
history of the halftime shows.
I actually enjoy the commercials, and I don't watch the halftime show typically.
The commercials aren't as good as they have been. There's been so much hype with the commercials.
We
in
can
my
help
opinion.
them. We can
I
help
have
them.
a commercial. I think most of the commercials aren't that good anymore.
Junior Samples on the soybean market says starvation is a great motivator. No doubt about it. China is not winning the terror.
Is the market gone though? I mean,
No.
Ukraine's going to need soybeans. Russia's going to need soybeans. Gaza's going to need soybeans. Africa could use a bunch of soybeans. Lots of starvation in the world.
Here. Sell them at the ballpark. Stephanie Connie says,
Soybeans roasting on an open fire.
There you
Only
have it.
86 days till Christmas, folks. 86 days.
Is that right?
I think so.
Really?
Yes, I did the math.
How depressing is that?
Actually, I didn't do the math.
You just made that up.
I did.
December, November, October. No, it's more than that.
I don't think so.
It's got to be at least 100 days till Christmas.
I don't know.
Mm.
31.
There you go. Stephanie
30.
Connie says it's the largest event, the Super Bowl halftime, hiring someone that doesn't sing in English. You got a guy, though, more importantly, is there anything more American than American football on the NFL? And yet we're going to promote a guy, double
Boom.
his career.
Boom.
Are you
31 days, 60 days, another 30, 61, 25, 86 days till Christmas Day.
Wow, that's crazy. You must have read that somewhere. They're promoting a guy that doesn't sing in English.
I read it a
and
couple days
openly
ago. There
hates
were 90
America.
days left, and I just quickly
There
did
you
some
go.
math.
Oh,
You know what?
craziness.
Good point, Melissa Hansen. HEB has had troubles keeping edamame in stock. So HEB
They
will
did
buy
it.
your soybeans.
Brian Small says it's about time for his famous, by the way, soybean casserole. Yeah. I don't understand. And I'm calling out, when I see I think I've told you this, a Budweiser guy at the grocery store fronting shelves, or a Coca-Cola rep, or a Frito. I usually see the same Frito-Lay rep at my convenience store at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I always tell him, hey, good morning. He'll say, hey, what's up? How you doing? I said, good. I said, hey, don't screw it up. It ain't that hard, right? I mean, if you're the Frito-Lay guy, if you're putting Ruffles on the shelf, just make sure they're not all crumbs.
Yeah. Or Lay's.
Right? Let's see where we're at. Okay, go ahead.
Hey.
Oh, good morning. Good morning.
The older you get, the later you sleep.
I mean, I had you slated in as a starter. You're coming in middle relief.
Well, that's what happens when you get the end of your career. All they use you is maybe in the ninth inning, and that's to hit, pinch hitting with the DH for the
Right.
second baseman.
Well, how are you, sir? First of all, we're visiting with Astros Hall of Famer Terry Poole. Great to have you in, sir.
The last right fielder for the Astros to perform in the postseason.
No kidding. Ash told me that his concern over the Cubs in the playoffs revolved around the fact that Tucker played right. And I said, there's no doubt about it. The last Astro to do anything in the postseason in right field was Terry Poole.
That's not the good sign.
Right. That's not exactly what we're after.
We're talking, what is it? Oh, gosh, 45 years.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
45 years ago, you would have called in at 7:25. Now you're sitting there in your boxers and your orange jacket, smoking a cigar and going, I'll get to those guys when I'm done with my coffee.
Well, I'm a caregiver now. Our youngest son, Curtis, just had a second hip done, and I'm over there making him breakfast, giving him coffee, and doing all kinds of stuff. And Jackie says, something's been calling you. And I went,
You went, oh, sorry. We could have talked to Jackie if she would have just picked up.
Yeah.
I bet you she's had enough conversation with you over the last couple of months. She has a pretty good idea what the Astros need to do.
Well, yeah, they've got a few things they got to do. You're right.
Let me ask you just an opinion. And I mean, I know you're an Astros guy. I'm not saying it's going to be an unbiased answer, but in fairness, would you, looking back, if you were just if you were a player to be named later and you ended up in Atlanta in 91, from 91 to 05, they won like, I don't know, I think they won 14 division championships. And I think they went to the World Series during that period like 4 times and they won once. Where do you think that the Astros run from 16 to now, 10 seasons, with 4 World Series appearances, 7 straight ALCS, and 2 World Series championships? How does that stack up to you if you were comparing quote unquote dynasties?
Oh, I've always put the Astros ahead. You know, when you win 2 World Series, and you know, this dynasty that we had, and you know, and quite frankly, we should have been there this year. You know, we can always make that case still. Because of injury, we have been hit so hard with injuries. The last 2 years is just incredible. They have to revamp their pitching staff, but you know, they're not that far away. You know, nobody can tell me that Altuve and Correa won't be the anchors of this team next year. And the way that Walker finished off was incredible. I think you got a bright spot in Cole. I think
yes, sir. He's a baseball player. He shows up to play ball like a kid.
Yeah. Well, he showed me something the other night when he hit a ball out in left center on the road. It was in the California, I believe, with the Angels. He hit that ball out the other way. That truly shows you he's got real power. And you know, his swing is, the initial stages of it, that's quality swing. It's a very fairly level swing.
Where do we? I mean, I think Christian Walker is going to win another Gold Glove this year. And if you go around and you give Walker a Gold Glove, and Altuve plays where he wants to play, so let's put him at second, and we put Pena, who I adore, at short, even though Correa's got a better gun, but I put Pena at short, and I pencil in Correa at third. Where do I put Paredes? Because he's got to be on the baseball field. He earned that, and he's certainly qualified to be there. Where do you put him?
Yeah, that's you brought up a good question. They do have one issue there, you know, and I don't think the answer is Altuve in left field. And then
I know it's not.
Second, I agree with you. So you know, they've got all spring, and you got to keep Alvarez off the field as much as you possibly
absolutely. I mean, the guy can't even step on home plate without breaking a leg.
Bless his heart. I mean, we got a bunch of quarter horses on this team. We got a bunch of guys. They're gonna, they're gonna bat 280 to 285, 290. They're going to hit you 20 bombs and have 60, 80 RBIs, a bunch of those guys on the program. Yeah. And then you've got a guy that could hit you 75 home runs, but he can't stay healthy. He's a thoroughbred.
He could be Aaron Judge if he would just stay healthy.
And the real issue you have is all those guys have to play every day to be successful. You cannot spot play one, you know, Perez or Correa or something. You can't do that and then expect them to do something. You have to play them every day. Now, I'm going to go back. This resting stuff, they rest too often.
Okay, Nolan. Okay, Nolan, you old school. Well, when I was a kid, we played hockey after dark under the car lights. I feel you.
Hey, Brent. You win a ball game. You win 3 ball games in May and June. You're in the.
That's exactly right.
You're in the playoffs.
You can rest in the off season. It lasts almost 2 weeks. It's like being a school teacher.
And I still am pounding my head against the wall when we go into, I believe it was California when the Spada rested or took Walker out of the lineup.
Yeah.
I'm going, to play. What are we doing with 5 games left?
Yeah, and he'd gone like Walker had gone like 9 for 13 with 3 bombs in the previous series, and you're going to say, well, he needs a day off.
Yeah, I'm going, well, what are you guys thinking here? It's and because they're going to have to put questions in everybody's mind. He's going like, well, what do they think of me? They don't need those questions in their mind. To me, that's a mistake from whoever makes the lineup. I'm not saying it is, but
I agree. You had, they had to win 4 of the last 6 against 2 of the worst teams in baseball, even though the A's are a little bit better than they were at the start of the year. How do you not even manage to do what you needed to do down the stretch that way? That bothered me, and maybe they got a little complacent. I don't know, but what do you do?
They didn't have the pitching either. Well, they did not get the pitching. Fromber just completely collapsed when you needed him the most, and. Yeah, he had a good last game, but good gracious, the 6 before that, that's
Before we get to
Fromber wins 2 of those starts, they're in the playoffs.
But before we get to the revamp, let me ask you this: is it time for Altuve to consider not playing in the World Baseball Championships and maybe focus on resting in his health?
I agree with you on stuff like that. Is just besides enough of this, my country, stuff.
Right.
You got to think about where he is. He needs to, just get through spring training healthy, get ready for the season. He's beyond that. Even the Pena, he does not need to be going over there. He's been just killed with that.
Well, you remember 2 years ago, he missed like the whole month of May coming off an injury from the World Baseball Championships. I'm like, hey, we need you.
This is all for TV and all for money.
Yeah,
that's all that is for. And I'm going, it's killing some of our, especially our players, because they are getting up in age and they log an extra month every year. They play an extra month of baseball than everybody else does.
Right. They're resting on the road so they can play for another country in the offseason.
Well, and so many Astros are on those teams because the Astros are that good.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question for you.
And also with that World Baseball League, it speeds these guys up so much faster at spring training. Their bodies aren't conditioned to it. You have to let the process go through, and your body starts responding the last 2 weeks of spring training.
I'm not so upset about the Astros not making the playoffs because I think Espada's done. I mean, had we made the playoffs, I think he's manager of the year. It's the fact that we didn't. By the way, Bruce Bochy, mutual consent to leave the Rangers. The fact that we didn't make the playoffs doesn't bother me because had we made it, the staff isn't deep enough to get us very deep in the playoffs. So I don't mind the fact that we didn't make it. Maybe it's a good program wake-up call. But you're going to lose Fromber, and I do think he hit that catcher on purpose, and I do think he's got an attitude problem that he didn't seem to have 2 seasons ago, and I think it revolves around money. I think he wants a huge contract that he will get, and I do think it won't be from the Astros, and I think that the people that pay it will regret it. I was told the other day unequivocally, we're also going to lose Hunter Brown. The window to sign him has passed, and as soon as he's eligible, he's going to be gone. Take me through where you see this staff evolving.
Well, if Brown, if that's a true story, and I'm not going to argue that because I think nowadays you got to take the more risk and give them money earlier and lock them up earlier. Brown has already established himself as the top 10 pitcher in the big leagues. He's going to be so sought after, so he is not going to take anything the Astros.
He's going to be like Garrett Cole. They're going to want him.
Yeah, and if that's the case, if he tells you I'm not going to sign, then you have to move him, but you can't move him like with. Okay, I might go on the line here a little bit. You've moved Tucker. If you can't get for Tucker 100 mile an hour arm, I'm sorry. If Cam Smith, could be a decent player, still could be, but you know what? He he was like deer in the headlights at the end of the year.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, this guy didn't know what he was doing.
He got turned around in
And-
right field quite a few times. My too early
Well-
prediction, Hunter Brown will end up being traded in some form to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw is retiring, and they want a premier arm, and I look for him to be on your favorite team, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, it just makes me. I tell my grandson he's not allowed to wear that Otani jersey to any Astro game. And it was my two boys that bought it for him for Christmas. And I went, "What are you guys thinking about?"
It's like being communist.
When he wears it in our house here.
You should just tell him to go outside. I think that there's a real good chance if you were walking through the tunnel at Dodger Stadium that you might have a hockey flashback and body check Vin Scully. Just give him a little check. Take that,
I
Vin.
love that man. He was a great guy.
Wasn't he great?
Man, what a wonderful man. I mean, one of the all-time beautiful people that everybody should have had an opportunity to spend 5-10 minutes.
You're just rubbing it in, TP.
Yep,
You're rubbing it in.
Now, the Dodgers have some great people around there. I just didn't like the vibes you get.
Other than that.
Florida, it's like Dodger Blue. These guys they're very friendly on the field during Bankruptcy, but boy, Hollywood showed up during the game.
My absolute favorite
let me
is
go over here and throw up for a while.
my absolute favorite was, don't kid yourself, Dusty Baker often took a day off when JR was on the mound.
Yeah. Dusty was a good hitter. He was a very dangerous hitter. They had great players. They were great players, but that's what makes rivalries.
Absolutely.
So when when Reggie Smith comes across the field from right field at the dome, picks up the ball from the mound because he's going into the dugout and fires it at Cedeno in our dugout, well, what do you think's going to happen? So we have another brawl.
Yeah, there was no love lost, that's for sure.
And Cheo Cruz was only 38 or 9 at that time. Played another 14 seasons.
Can the Astros get back to the playoffs next year? I mean, what's the one key? Stay healthy. Is it as simple as that?
Well, healthy pitching. They're going to revamp. It's like you look at is Javier going to make it? Garcia did not make it.
McCullers needs to go.
Well, I'm trying to see if the Mets will make that deal.
They tend to like that deal. How concerned do we have to be about Josh Hader and his health?
Well, yeah. I mean, nobody's heard anything about this. Here we go again. We don't know anything, when it comes to Astros being hurt. That's more concerning than anything because Abreu is capable, but he's proven that he's probably not the guy.
No, and he's not consistent enough.
No, he's a great 8-inning guy. He really is. I mean, but yeah, that's a big issue because you can't lose ball games when you have leads. There's nothing that kills momentum more than that, and that's why he was. We really did miss him.
Yeah,
and it put a lot of extra stress on the guys like King, Okert, and all those. Those Santos. Those guys were pitching every day. I mean, you can't run them out there every day and expect them not to get beat up.
Yeah. No. So, well, Terry, we appreciate the call. We're out of time. We gave bonus time this morning, but appreciate your insight into the Astros and where it kind of went wrong down the stretch and what they got to look forward to for next year. So,
well, actually, I also want to let you know that I know we exchanged round one.
Yep.
And I have the Dodgers winning in the first round, but I have them losing further down.
All right. Well, we haven't got there yet, but we'll see who's standing after the first round because you and I were on the same page except for the Cleveland-Detroit series. I took Cleveland, you took Detroit.
I think Cleveland wins that one as well.
We'll see how that one goes. If Carter's on board, Detroit wins.
I did that for you, Terry. I'll tell you this, sir. I want to make sure you know that your check must have cleared Buddy Stavanoa says that you were a great player, but you're even a greater gentleman. And he's a great player, but even a better person. So your check to him for PR cleared. And Ash and I, we picture you there with like some Adidas slides on. No, for you, Nike slides on, and some like Paisley silk boxers and your orange jacket, sitting on the back patio on the patio with Miss Jackie, just enjoying a cigar and looking at your investments. And we appreciate all the time that you spend with us, sir.
Well, you got about 10% of that right. I am looking at my investments.
Right. There you go, sir.
Well, hey, give my best to Curtis.
Yeah. Brian Small says you're wearing an ascot. An ascot. That's nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Thanks,
love
Terry.
you, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Bye, friend. Folks, it's always great when we can visit with Terry Poole, and I don't ever take it for granted. He takes me back. I mean, I was an adult when I was watching him, but what a great player. What a fine gentleman.
Absolutely. Great person. Great insight into the Astros as well. So
just like all of you, great people. Have a great day. We love you. We'll talk to you mañana.
bye, folks.
20 through town. I've been